Have you ever wondered how an ancient philosophy can have a lasting impact on our modern lives? In this video, we will explore the fascinating history of Stoicism, a current of thought that has stood the test of centuries and has influenced not only thinkers and leaders, but also the way we approach daily challenges. Prepare for a journey through time and immerse yourself in the timeless teachings of Stoicism. And, of course, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our philosophical explorations. Sebastian Betty, they find themselves stranded thousands of kilometers from their home, without resources or belongings. This situation could lead to despair and many cursing their misfortune. However, for Zeno of Citium, this became the foundation of his work and the legacy of his existence. The once prosperous merchant lost everything when he was shipwrecked in Athens around 300 BC. With little to do, he walked into a bookstore, read about Socrates, and became intrigued. He began to seek out and study with the city's leading philosophers. As Zeno educated his own disciples, he laid the foundation for the philosophy known as Stoicism, whose teachings on virtue, tolerance, and self-control have inspired generations of thinkers and leaders. The word Stoicism comes from the Greek stoipoikal, the decorated public colonnade where Zeno and his disciples gathered for their conversations. Today, we use the expression Stoic colloquially to refer to someone who remains calm under pressure and avoids emotional extremes. Although this reflects important aspects of Stoicism, the original philosophy was more than just an attitude. The Stoics believed in a network of cause and effect that governed everything around us, resulting in a rational structure of the universe called logos. Although we can't always control the events that affect us, we do have control over how we approach things. Instead of imagining an ideal society, the Stoic seeks to deal with the world as it is, pursuing personal development through four cardinal virtues: practical wisdom, the ability to confront complex situations in a logical, grounded, and calm manner; temperance, the exercise of self-control and moderation in all aspects of life; justice, treating others fairly even when they have erred; and courage, present not only in extraordinary circumstances, but when facing daily challenges with clarity and integrity. As Seneca, one of the most famous Roman writers, wrote, "Sometimes even living is an act of courage." Although Stoicism focuses on personal improvement, it is not a self-centered philosophy. At a time when Roman laws considered slaves property, Seneca advocated for humane treatment of them and emphasized that we all share the same fundamental humanity. Stoicism also does not promote passivity. The idea is that only those who have cultivated virtue and self-control can bring about positive change in others. One of the most prominent Stoic writers was one of the great Roman emperors. Stoicism helped Marcus Aurelius lead the empire for 19 years, facing two major wars and coping with the loss of many of his children. Centuries later, Marco's diaries would guide and comfort Nelson Mandela during his 27 years in prison and his fight for racial equality in South Africa. After his release and eventual victory, Mandela emphasized the importance of peace and reconciliation, convinced that although the injustices of the past could not be changed, his people could confront them in the present to build a better, more just future. Although Stoicism was an active school of philosophy for several centuries in Greece and Rome, it disappeared as a formal institution, but remains an influential philosophy. Christian theologians, such as Thomas Aquinas, admired and adopted his approach to the virtues, and there are similarities between Stoic ataraxia, or tranquility of mind, and the Buddhist concept of nirvana. A particularly influential Stoic was the philosopher Epictetus, who wrote that suffering arises not from the events of our lives, but from our judgments about them. This has resonated deeply in modern psychology and the self-help movement. For example, rational emotive behavioral therapy focuses on changing the self-destructive attitudes that people express toward their life circumstances. There is also Viktor Frankl's logotherapy, developed by himself based on his experience as a prisoner in a concentration camp, which is governed by the Stoic principle that we can use our willpower to give meaning to our lives even in difficult situations. More gloomy. If you're enjoying what you've seen so far, I encourage you to show your support by clicking the I like it, which you will find just below. Your support is essential so we can continue bringing you quality content. Sometime after the time of Zeno of Citium, Stoicism continued its influence in different parts of the world. In the city of Rome, during the rise of the empire, Emperor Hadrian was attracted to Stoic teachings. Fascinated by the idea of self-improvement and control of emotions, Adriano became an avid student of this philosophy. Under his reign, Stoicism merged with other philosophical currents, creating a unique synthesis that resonated in the administration of the empire. Roman leaders began to adopt Stoic principles in their political decisions, seeking practical wisdom and justice amid the complexities of government. Over time, Stoicism not only influenced political circles, but also found its way into the arts and literature. Poets and writers of ancient Rome, such as Ovid and Horace, incorporated Stoic concepts into their works, exploring the duality between inevitable fate and personal control. The expansion of the Roman Empire brought Stoic teachings to distant regions. In the lands of Asia Minor, local philosophies were intertwined with Stoicism, giving rise to a unique interpretation that combined Stoic serenity with Eastern traditions of meditation and introspection. As the centuries passed, Stoicism not only remained a philosophical current, but also evolved. In medieval Europe, philosophers and theologians rediscovered the works of the ancient Stoics, finding in them a balance between reason and spirituality. During the Renaissance, a resurgence of interest in ancient philosophies led to a new wave of adoption of Stoicism. Thinkers such as Erasmus of Rotterdam and Michel de Montaigne explored the connections between Stoic ideas and the pursuit of knowledge and authenticity. Throughout history, Stoicism has proven to be more than just a philosophy; it is a resilient and adaptable current of thought. Its principles have endured through the centuries, influencing generations and adapting to the changing circumstances of the world. Stoic philosophy not only remains in books, but continues to inspire those who seek wisdom, virtue, and inner strength. The history of Stoicism teaches us that philosophies endure over time when they manage to adapt to changing circumstances, influencing not only the way of thinking, but also the way in which societies address challenges. Stoic philosophy, born in ancient Greece, was not limited to a time or place, but evolved, merged with other currents and expanded throughout the world. The moral we can draw from this story is the importance of resilience and the ability to adapt in the ideas and principles that guide our lives. Just as Stoicism was integrated into different cultures and historical periods, we too can look to timeless philosophies and values for inspiration to meet the challenges of our own time. Practical wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation, foundations of Stoicism, remain relevant in the search for personal and collective balance. History encourages us to explore, learn, and apply principles that have stood the test of time, thus contributing to continuous and sustainable development in our lives and in society at large. And so, we say goodbye to this fascinating journey through the history of Stoicism. Now I have a question for you. How do you think Stoic teachings could be applied in your everyday life? Have you experienced any changes when incorporating these principles? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave them in the comments. Do you have any anecdotes related to Stoicism that you want to share? Let's make this comments section a space for the exchange of ideas. Remember, if you enjoyed this content and want to continue exploring fascinating philosophical and cultural aspects, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell. This way, you will be aware of every new adventure we undertake together. Until next time, Wisdom Explorers. See you in the next video.